Hello, welcome to Sunday morning coffee. It's Sunday, it's the morning. I don't have coffee, I have juice. As I've just had a coffee, so I'm not going to have two. That'd be wild. Normally I would, but I'm going out where I'll have more coffee. It's got pace, got pace. It got some nice refreshing squash today. Um, I've got loads of topics. I had a flurry of new followers last night, possibly to do with this new interview that's going around. So I'll talk about that first, because then if there is anyone new, they don't go, oh, I wonder what this show's about, and then have to listen to me talking about GSPR for a bit. I'll lure them in first. So topics for the day. We've got GSPR, we love it. Community minis, the pledge manager, how Carol got on at the vets, looking at her now. That's how she got on. And some Wars of the Roses. What? TikTok Necropolis. What's going on? So I will begin with the interview. Yay! Let's move that along. Yay! Thank you for coming along. Just looking at the chat now. Even Lil's there. Morning, Lil. Woo. Need you in the office soon. had to pack things myself. So last night, the interview with is it Film Deg Miniatures. I meant to ask him what that was. The interview with him, although he kind of doesn't do much, he kind of just leaves us to it, which I really like, because he kind of prompts if you need to or gets a little bit involved, but mostly just leaves people to it. Tom from Film Deg is wicked, and he filmed a chat with myself, Trish Carden, legendary sculptor, and Louise Sugden, legendary painter, general awesome person. I don't know how she's a many things person. And me, yay! Also a person. So we filmed that a little while ago, the end of last year. I think it was like a couple days after that I got sick. I didn't catch anything from them. I had my mental was going a bit weird around then, so I think that was. I remember I think I used all of my last remaining energy on this interview, and then sort of crashed afterwards. So I don't like watching stuff back, but I've seen some clips of it, and I meant to put a little link, but just put Film Deg. I think just Film Deg as one word, FILM Deg, into YouTube. It'll come up. I'll also add it into there's a playlist on my channel called Other People's Videos Featuring Bad Squiddo or something like that. So I'll put it into that, and I'll put it into industry interviews, which I think is another playlist, which means it's easy for you to find. Where am I at? I've been awake for a while. I don't know why I'm a bit. Ooh. So that was filmed the end of last year. I was dreading it a bit this last night when I saw it had gone live, because Trish and Louise are so famous and so adored, and I'm kind of sat there in the middle and with a very GW audience, because what Film Dig does, he goes around, documents a lot of the old Warhammer folk, so it's a really strong GW sort of fan basey people. So I just assume that most people won't have a clue who I am. So I was kind of bracing for a bunch of horrible comments of like, who's this scumbag? Why is she there ruining the legends or something? But it's been nice so far. Everyone's been really nice. I'm sure Tom's had to delete some, but it's been really nice. I'm in a very much needed a boost at the moment. Like you're doing good, Annie. So the comments for that have been really nice, and to say the followers streaming in. Carol is a bit late, but didn't think I'd be here yet. I was sat here at 10 going, shall I go live? Or some people will just, because now it's standard that I'm at least 5 minutes late. But I thought, no, I will be here. So morning, Carol, and anyone else who goes, oh crap, she's already begun. I have. So it's always a bit stressful, worrying when anything that you do goes public, especially when it's outside of your usual realm. So it was the same with the magazine article in Soldiers and Strategy. That was also like, "Ugh." I haven't seen anything bad, but I haven't looked, so that's the bonus. But people have been lovely in the Blue Sky, mostly, where people have said they've seen that. So yeah, thank you. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it after this. It's about an hour long, and he runs out of battery at the end. And I like that it's not solidly us just chatting about war games. We're just kind of chatting about all sorts, and it's really nice because it was just a natural chat. There's no intro and there's no end. It sort of starts with me going, are we recording now? I don't know yet. And then it just ends going, running out of battery. So hopefully we'll get to do another one of those, because I think that'd be really fun, especially an update when I paint the miniature that's mentioned in the thing. And Louise, if she does, I think she fears it. So hello, where should we begin? So that's Film Deck. Woo! I'm tough with that. So it only went up last night, but it's already having a really good impact. So yes. So you know what I'm always saying about trying to get outside of the bubble. I'm there, like, in some, I don't know, in my head it was like I don't know why, a big sheet of latex, like a big latex ball, and I'm there, with like the fingerprints coming out, going, yeah. I don't know why I imagined that, but that's how I see it, going, I need to get out so more people can see the coolness. So somewhere like that, where it is that sort of GW base, will be people that go, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what and then got more of them, more to the army, which is also, so that interview I did with Peachy ages ago was still brings loads of people. Let's say, oh, we saw you on that, and then we sort of found you from there. So that's awesome. So cross that off my little list. Where should we go? Hey, Alec is watching it straight after. Yes, it's a good watch, probably. So I watched a few bits. I watched a bit where it was rude to see if he'd kept it in. Like, yes, he's kept it in. I was trying really well. I don't think I swore. I didn't swear. I was very well behaved. Louise wasn't. She was off the hook. So where should we go after this? Yeah, we don't mind how people get here. Once you're here, we keep you forever. Yes, until you leave. So on I can't remember if I've mentioned before, on MailChimp, the newsletter, it tells you a weird amount, which I probably shouldn't tell people because I don't want everyone to unsubscribe. But when you do unsubscribe, you can leave a note of why you've left, and one of the options is no longer interested, which is perfectly fine because you're not in the hobby anymore, or you're just not into what I'm doing anymore. But every time I'm like, oh, they're not interested, no longer interested. I'm no longer interesting. But it's fine. So we leave. I see that as them just leaving forever. Like, oh, that's them gone. Like they obviously hate me now, but it's not. You just unsubscribe from stuff all the time, which is fine. I unsubscribe from companies that I like because I just don't want loads of stuff in my inbox. It's fine. But being a solo business owner is taking everything personally. Yay. So what else? Carol, I'll get to. Not you. Not you, Carol. Carol's just sat up like, what did I do? Not you, that one. The little one, the one that's about that big. So last week, well, that was this week because it was Monday I did the show. I mentioned that one of the plans of the week was to take little girl Carol to the vets because her vibes were off. The vibes ended up being expensive, as I imagined. But I did take her in the next day. So she went in, she had an x-ray, and it's confirmed. I'd suspected, but it was confirmed that she's got arthritis. And so she's got a whole bunch of different drugs, mostly just painkillery stuff. And the x-ray was £350. So you know how I was saying, oh yeah, I fancy one of those little video things, but I can't afford them. It was pretty much the same price getting a a scan, but I also didn't have enough money in my personal account, so I paid. It got, what's it? Declined. My card got declined in the vets, whilst they were pretty much like holding up a gun to her head like that, going, "You better pay." Um, then I do keep weird cash in various places. So I was like, I've got to have emergency cash. So I was like unloading all my emergency cash, pretty much just tipped my bag like that. My little, I haven't got it here, a little day rucksack thing. So I was like, I can make up the difference. I can do it. Getting all flustered. Um, and then once I did manage it. Um, and then went into whilst the vet was watching, and then she went, I recommend all of these different very expensive treatments like acupuncture. I was like, yes, yes, cool. But she's on painkillers for now. She's gonna have another appointment next week. I need to book that and um, see where she goes. Just looking at her now, she's already a lot happier now. She's off her face. She's one of the recommendations is pretty much to just like pat her on the butt every now and again, just to get her moving about. Which, ironically, so Dave harasses her quite a lot, and chases her around in a fun way. So, fun for him. But Dave chasing her around has actually been helping her because it's making her move and stopping her just sitting in the same place. And I was slightly suspicious that the vet might have been Dave in a vet uniform, saying, I recommend you get chased by a big lad. That would help. I see you, Dave. I see you. But yeah, after all that shenanigans, I didn't have enough money then for the Uber home, and I was stuck in this. It's in like a industrial estate, but I managed to get on Uber. They occasionally, if you get lots of them, which I hate that I get that many Ubers, but I don't drive. Um, you get it says like have one on us, and you get a credited journey. So I managed to get that home. So that was fun. That was Tuesday. So that was, yeah, that was just after I did. It was Monday night, wasn't it? I did the stream. So that was my Tuesday, and then I sort of stayed here and had to keep tapping her on the ass because she'd had loads of painkillers. So just keep moving her around. Um, so that was Tuesday. So yeah, but she's doing fine. I was really worried Monday night after the stream. I started thinking, oh no, she's gone downhill really quickly. But I think because it was a bit cold, she was just going, I just can't be bothered moving. She's doing really well. She's being very good with her drugs as well, and she's eating the little biscuits. Um, she's got these little vitamin C biscuits to get extra biscuits, extra vitamin C, and she's very good. So she eats all them. But then Dave starts going, ah! So like a child, I have to give him some pea flakes so he gets something at the same time, so he's not left out. I see you. He was very sad when she wasn't in the pen, which is oh, poor little Dave. Carol says, before my horrible wrist and hand arthritis calmed down the end of last year, I asked about acupuncture, and the physio said it would be a waste of time because it really works. Yeah, I don't really know anything about it other than the fact I looked it up and saw this really cute picture of two guinea pigs with the little needles sticking out and just looking really unbothered. Oh, but it's Carol, you and Carol can have shared arthritis. You're like little twins. What if you're connected somehow? Ooh, that'd be odd. That would be weird. So back to Bad Squiddo. Hi LARP Beard. Hello, yay, yay. Look at that. I've got people along. Carol says, on the other hand, I'm not a guinea pig. You are not. No, that one is. That one is. I'm pretty sure she originally didn't have an E on the end of her name, and it was because of you she ended up having the E on the end. So there, inspiring a pig. So where should we get onto some Bad Squiddo? Got to keep it mixed up. So I can take pig off my little list. I've got lots of community minis to chat about, but I want to wait because I've got a lot to say about it. Pledge Manager for the Kickstarter is out. If you backed Pulp Miniatures, go Pulp Heroines on our Kickstarter, go have a little look. There'll be the usual, there's the update, and you get a PM on Kickstarter, which is in the top right by your little logo. It'll say messages, and there'll be a little dot. That's got my message, your personal code, which you need to copy and paste, and a link to the update, which has all the information. It doesn't link to the pledge manager because it forces you to read to read the update and the instructions, and then you go over there. The more you back my Kickstarters, the more they're all the same. They're all the same way of processing at the end. So you just go onto the website, put the stuff in, use the code. That takes your pledge amount off. If you want anything extra, you can do that. Thank you. There's been some very tasty additions on that, which has helped me not be as stressed about money at the moment. So people that have added loads of stuff on, never obliged again. So always a lot of people will, just put in what pay for shipping is the standard. But there's been a few where I've gone, oh, thank you. So thanks for that. That means a lot. Jill says we had a very busy week last. Well done. Yes, yes. So Thursday night, I made the pledge manager, but I had to stop because I had a meeting. And when I'd finished the meeting, my internet all balked, so I had to finish it Friday morning. Jill says, "How long are you keeping it open for?" Not a huge amount of time, at least till the start of next month, though, for paydays. It's usually sort of once most people have done it. But yeah, if anyone missed the Kickstarter and wants to get in on the sweet Kickstart prices, you can do that as well. Just put in the comments that you're a late backer. So I did about half, I think, Thursday night, and then then there was very kindly Chris from Modifius hosted an online kind of seminar Q&A thing about GSPR. So if you haven't seen, there's been all this shouting, there's all these different these new regulations brought in from the EU. So a huge amount of UK companies suddenly are not shipping to the EU, which is including me, but not for long. So I won't go into all the details about it again, but basically you need to have a representative in the EU and you have to change packaging. That's the short form of it all. You have to change packaging and put lots of different languages on there, and have some specific bits and bobs. But none of it is simple. None of it tells you how simple it is. So everyone's been freaking out. As in, like, not just me, large companies, say like GW, have had it sorted for years because it's been mentioned before, but lots of stuff gets mentioned. You don't know if it's actually going to happen. So huge companies are fine. But even the fact that a company the size of Modifius, well, they're not huge, they're bigger than I'll probably ever be. So they also had no idea what's going on. And outside of gaming, there's so many companies now I just keep seeing going, no, we're not shipping to Europe. Even with the thing, it's just too prohibitive for them, especially if you're, really small. Then it's just so much just when you're already struggling. Luckily, it's worth it for us. Larkbeard says, "Was GSPR, put new GSPR regulations." Tim says, "Large companies have had it sorted for years. The chance that they barely scraped sorting out the last minute but didn't tell them how close it was, not small." No, because it has to be on their packaging. So the packaging and everything has been on there. It's all established, because they'd have massive consequences if the amount that they ship. So they are actually compliant, as I've been going around box handling in various different shops, checking out stuff. I went, yep, that's all done. So whilst we turned off the EU shipping at December, it will be back on. I'm working with a rep at the moment and getting the packaging sorted, but as you will find out, I've done a trillion things. I've had to just put things in a particular order. Sorry, shuffling about. So that's the next thing. So that's a priority for tomorrow. I was going to say Monday, tomorrow. I was in office yesterday. Very long day yesterday in the office. So it doesn't feel like I've had a weekend. Oh, GSPR, get some packaging redone. I like that. Good way of remembering. So I'm nearly there. I just need to get some a few bits. But I've turned EU shipping back on the website. So if you want to order anything, then you can do that. And what do I brain? You can order. I've just why does it just cut out occasionally? I go to like, where am I? Yes, if you're in the EU, you can order and it will be shipped whenever the thing is sorted, which I'm hoping will be about a week. So I'll put that back on for you, which also helps obviously people in the Kickstarter too. Um, what was that linking in with pledge? Yes, so the talk, he got someone in from a legislation company or something, which was obviously trying to sell us trying to sell us their services, which some people seemed to be quite keen to on the end, so that worked out for them. Um, but it was it was supposed to be aimed at specifically at miniatures, miniatures, books, dice. So there were a lot of industry people in there. Loads of people have why do they have their cameras on? So it was in a meeting. There's all these different companies of different sizes, and you're like, oh, there's such and such. Um, I had my mic and camera off because it's mostly just people talking at you, but loads of them didn't. So I was watching it and I was just going, oh, and it must be terrible because I've been lucky that I'm not in one of those companies where you have to do the endless Zoom meetings with multiple people. And I just thought, oh, that looks like a fresh hell for me. So people with the camera on, because it's just someone talking, it's not a discussion. Everyone's got to look like they're interested. So then I got distracted by looking at everyone who was kind of like, "Mm, yeah." For it. Whilst I was kind of there stretching and messaging some people going, look at the people's faces. Um, but it was so the actual talk bit was pretty generic, but it was good to go over again. My internet cut out like all the way through it, and I don't know if it like makes bong noises or anything, but um I may have been annoying everyone by going in and out because the office internet is so bad. Switched to my phone and it was fine. But the really useful bit was a Q&A afterwards, which I think everyone was just waiting for, going, yes, we have seen the slideshow. We've all seen the slideshow. Um, but we'd like to ask specific industry questions. So there was quite a lot of decent questions and answers. Um, and I think I got, they don't know, sorry, brain. Um, what did I ask? There were more than I thought. There was even some more spanners thrown in where I went, "Wait, what? What, that's a thing? But how?" One of the things they're talking about is batch, but because there were a lot larger companies, they were more talking about print runs from China, and I'm going, "No, but you've gotta have a mark for every different order of minis that I get in from the cast, so I need to talk to the casters about that and get a boo, boo bit of boo." There must be a market for minis and busts to paint to take your spot in front of the camera. Yeah. Or just some with different expressions so you can just swap them out. That would be cool. Be like, ooh, or there should definitely be a yes, yes indeed. At one point, I got Ian from Fenris to come, and he didn't realize his camera was on. So at one point, he popped up, and a message going, "I can see you." He was like, "Oh no, shit, shit, yeah." So I'm very appreciative to Modifius and Chris for running that. And it was what the main takeaway from it was that nobody knows. So even the lady was just like, just ship stuff, and I'm not gonna do that. But she was very like, they're not. It's not as suddenly urgent, but also it is. But I know what to do to be compliant, so I'm just gonna do that. So it'll be fine. Alex was at an ex-gov work meeting a couple of years ago and have turned the camera off but forgot to turn the sound off and was talking to my cat and then he noticed when the speaker was getting distracted. Amazing. We got there. Yes, Ratty is correct. If we all do, yeah, we could all just sort of lean and move us onto Europe. That would work. Um, So that was actually beneficial because I did messaged a bunch of other companies and they were like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that," and it has been recorded and sent back. And the slides were useful as well, so I want to make sure I was like, "Oh, I went to this and it was rubbish." Um, there were some really good questions from different people in there, and yeah, a lot of the answers were. So I thought, well, if the sort of official people don't know, then it will be fine. I'm not as stressed about it. This is, they were scaring us with these massive fines and kind of saying the massive fines are for people openly committing fraud. So like, so it seems like as long as you try, it's fine. But I might as well do it properly. So I'm going to get that sorted next week, and it should be of minimal cost. So that is all good. Um, so happy, yes. So Europe be back soon, back soon. So the community minis, which I'll go into next, the community minis, oh, brain. Everyone has shipped community minis apart from the EU peoples. So they'll ship just whenever that's sorted. So it'll be about a week. So I might as well wait till I've got it right. So there's less chance of them, throwing it in the sea or something. So what have I got? Got a few bits. Diddle-doo. So I went to the GSPR chat and then went back to do the rest of the pledge manager, and the internet wasn't working and it was late by then. I thought, I'm just going to go home. So that brought me grief because I hadn't finished everyone's codes. So then I got a bunch of, where's my code? I've gone to bed. So Friday, I finished the codes off. So if you haven't got a pledge manager code in your inbox, then something has gone wrong. So now you should message, but it shouldn't be because it's very rare that happens. And when I do it, so I do a lot of copy pasting, but one of my routines now for like how many Kickstarters? Maybe like 6 Kickstarters or something now. I put The Lion King on. I've got Disney Plus, so I put it on. They're going, TV license guy, you're not catching me out. I put it on the next tab, and I just listen to it because I've seen it so many times, and I just narrate to it because while I'm doing this sort of robotic, because otherwise my brain goes everywhere. So I like tune into The Lion King. So whenever you get your hi, thanks for backing, know that I was doing it in a robotic Lion King manner. So, so I was, so it's just like paste that, make them the code, cut the code, paste the code, copy to the next guy. So I just do that while I'm. I go, well, they'd make a very handsome throw rug, and just and now I sort of time the Kickstarter pledge managers for how many Lion Kings, and I managed to do it in one Lion King. Yes, the bigger Kickstarters, it's whether I get it into 2 Lion Kings, but I did one, and I got to the point where he said, "They call me Mr. Pig." And that's just as I was doing the last one. I was like, yes, the ghouls. I was right and deep into the credits, and I was going like that. But it also gives me a good motivation because it's such a robotic, repetitive task. So I hope that entertained that my weird Lion King things. So I was like, come on, I can do this. I can do this. Tim found his inbox of shame with all the unclaimed Kickstarter stuff. So everyone's Kickstarter's out, everyone's community minis shipped. Asterix, unless you're in the EU, it'll be about a week. Yeah, right. It says Annie types thank you, but accidentally types the script of a scene. Yeah, if you ever get a weird like what? Hello, a bunch of people. Hello, bunch of folks. God, nice bunch of folks in here today. Oh, hello. Jez, are you now fresh? Are you safe from being zombified? Because you were slightly getting better last time. So we've got to community minis, Lion King codes. Woo woo. So community miniatures. They're done. Oh yeah. Oh, I haven't got my folder with me. I'll check. I took a photo. Check this in. Oh, that's me on the screen. Don't want me on the screen. I want my gallery. Oh, oh, I did do my Tesco. It was Tesco warning me there. Oh, whew, I did do it. Hey, Jez is better, but now it's no teeth. So this is my little philo facts that I've made. This is the community minis page. I've showed you it before, but not for a while. This is how grown up I am. So again, you won't see it, but go on. WhatsApp. Stop WhatsApping me. Come on, you can show it. It used to show a lot better on here, didn't it? Well, there's if I turn the brightness down, it might. It's freaking out because of that. It's like, ah, hey, there we are. So you can't fully see it all, obviously, but I've got my little chart and then the little stages for them all, and I colour it in green. And spoiler, it's all green now. And I figured out that I could print out the ladies on the label printer so that they're just a black and white little like basic sticker. So I've made a load of stickers. So it means each little spot I can get a little green colouring in. So they're all done. It's done. All 13 done, which I feel really good about. So I was absolutely knackered yesterday. Hang on. Ooh. Ooh. Brain. I forgot. Community miniatures. Community miniatures. They're done. Yeah, so the last 2 days, I absolutely beasted it, getting Pledge Manager built, Pledge Manager codes out, and as always, Pledge Manager built by me, no backer kit. Now taking another slice. Backer kit take another slice. I don't understand why people use it. I get it when there's thousands of backers because it's a whole other thing, but when it's like this size, just build your own. And then just build your own. Build your own on your website. It's not actually that. It isn't that hard. What have we got? Reading about everyone's lurgies. That's why. um, so did that. Community minis shipped. I went into work yesterday because I really wanted to get that line drawn because I need that complete so then I can focus on that. And so I said to Anne my famous last words. I said, I'm going in the office, but I don't want it to be an all day thing. I just want to get some stuff sorted so I can have a bit of a Saturday. And I came in like 8:15 last night going, but it's done, which is, I'm feeling really good about that. It's say 2 massive things. And I did a lot and I was starting to get a bit emotional then. I went, whoa, Annie, you've done a lot in 2 days. Okay, it's okay. So that's awesome. I'll talk about what's happening next with those in a moment as well with community minis. I wanted to clarify I was not offering because I know it was Pledge Manager one day, community minis the next. I didn't offer anyone. Brain. Hang on. I just saw Katie said I was half expecting to see you at the march in Nottingham yesterday. I forgot. I saw it afterwards and went, ah. But then I wouldn't have got that out. So I would, yeah. Try. I'm still on mega catch up. But I would have, if I'd remembered, I would have gone. So sorry I wasn't there. Letting the women's down. They all looked very good though. I saw this morning. I went, oh balls, that was yesterday. Got there. Brain. So community minis. Yes. So I know that you filled in your Pledge Manager, then you got a notification that your community minis was shipped, and there's a lot. I saw a lot of names sort of coming up twice. Like I'd seen the order come in, and then I was shipping out to them, and I thought, I should combine, and I went, nope, I'm not combining. And I got a few few people not happy about that. But I never do anything to rip as I shuffle around sketchily. I never do anything to rip anyone off. I'm not trying to get 2 loads of shipping out of you, but the community minis is already really late. I don't want it to be then even later if I'm waiting on for Pledge Managers and stuff. It's a lot of admin to figure out who's on what. And because the community mini is already late, there's already a load of admin because people have added to the orders or combined. A whole bunch of people had combined them with the Definitely Not Damsels too, like people overseas. So a lot of the Americans or Australians had done that. So I had that previous Kickstarter to ship with some of them, and making sure so everyone's got what we got. Everyone's got the card, but they've all got a number on them. But also, I had to number all the cards and then keep a record of who's got what number of card. So when I'm packing them, they take a lot longer to pack than a Kickstarter, where I can sort of again robotically be like this item, this item, this item, because I need to double check with the thing to get the cards, and then make sure that the cards, because they're such lovely collectory things, make sure they're extra well packed into the box. When you've got a load of packing materials and stuff, so then I've put some cards. So it's just a lot more, and it's a lot more on the brain. I just wanted it all to be gone, and I want you all to get your things. So then, as a separate, because they also all in the same section on the website of this, all in a mega processing. And I realised I'd missed a couple of orders from Thursday and Friday that had came in and got lost in all of the pledge managers because it's all through the same bit. So to add a whole other, I just went, I need this section. This section needs to be cleared, and I want them arriving with you. And I thought sometimes if I keep them, if people want them held till the pulp Kickstarter, then they'll get mad that they've had to wait even longer, even though they asked to wait. So yesterday I had a bit of, I said to Andy when I got back, I said, I feel a little bit like I imagine it's like being a parent. Where you go, I've done all this stuff for you, and they're like, but this thing that you can't control is wrong. And they're like, ah, but it's fine. It's fine. That's why I was like, I just need some people to tell me I'm good, because I have just done a huge amount, like an amazing martyr that I am. And it's like, oh no, but I didn't want that. So thank you. Yay, right, you got like a whole deck pretty much. So when I was packing it, I was like, that's a cool deck. And I was going, so what have I got in my hand? Oh, I've got the 3 latest ones. I can't remember if I even showed these off. So if you haven't got in on this community minis, Lark, there's collectible cards for most of them left. And you get these, and they're really nice. They've got a matte finish. They're not just normal cards, because I want to make them super lovely. But when you get a whole bunch of them, you've got this like deck of them, which is ace. They're just really cool little fact cards to go through. Which is like, oh. So I really like that. So yeah, I don't want them all arriving bent or anything, so I have to get them all. So yeah, normally I would have, or previously I would have said, hey, let's all if you want, let me know and you can combine. But then I wouldn't have been able to pack any because I'd be waiting on emails to come back to confirm. And then if someone said they wanted to combine, but I'd already shipped, so it was just like, I just need them to go. So thank you all for being ace about it. So yeah, EU after all done. EU can't combine. It has all back cards and the packaging as well as a few others. Yes, yeah, that's why, like, it just gives you something a bit nicer to have, that you've got the nice picture thing. I got a complaint about the picture thing being unnecessary packaging in the week, and it's been a week of odd complaints. Is the nutshell. I'm gonna drink my squash, which is fine. It's always that whole thing when you're just a little bit extra tired, and you go, what? So that is all ace. Again, I'm just so thankful for everyone that's backed the community minis. And when I'm doing the pledge manager, I've said this before, and it makes everyone self-conscious, but a lot of people have their faces as their Kickstarter profile picture, and I get to see all your faces. So when I'm in the robo zone doing like thank you, copy paste thingy for everyone, I get to see like, the amount of times I go, oh, look at you. And it's just really nice. You don't have to have your face on there. Sometimes you've got a cute pet or something, and they go, ah. So that's just really nice, because it's like get to see the faces of the people, which is just like lovely. If you put your pledge manager through and got a processing, it means I've glimpsed at it. It doesn't mean that it's all. It means I've gone through it and gone, they've used the code and they've used the code amount. Cool. So I haven't looked any further at them, but it's just to confirm you've used the code right. There's a few that haven't used the code. In fact, I think Nick did that. Yeah. So anyone who hasn't used a code, I then will go back through and try and match them to the Kickstarter, like Nick. Um, and if and then I'll email and either say, "Oi, you've messed up your code," and I'll refund the code amount. And if I can't find you, I'll email and go, "Hey, you're a late backer that hasn't actually said that." So that's why I just say if you're a late backer, just put late backer, so I don't go through trying to match you and go, "Who is this person who's forgot their code?" So no, we'll never, you'll never be caught out by like, "Oh no, I've messed up, I have to pay twice." Absolutely not. So I will see that. So those ones aren't in processing because that's a Monday problem because I just wanted to quickly get through them all on Saturday. And if you messaged about the Kickstarter, I didn't see until I'd done the community minis because I needed to not be distracted by both. I'll see what Nick's up to. I'll have a look. I'll see what you've done, Nick. I'll go, what has he done? Someone who will remain anonymous unless they wish to reveal themselves in this chat, has the record for making my brain explode, which was a few Kickstarters ago by messaging me on Twitter and on email. But because of usernames and stuff, I thought they were two different people and it was the same guy. And I got so confused. I was like, wow, it's like two people with a really similar issue. And ended up doing all sorts of weird refunds and extra payments and stuff until I ended up messaging going, "Are you the same guy?" and then and then I emailed him my page of workings out. "It is you, Alec." Yes. I had to email my page of workings out. It was just like, "I think you owe me 50p. Is that what it's got down to?" But yeah, that was funny. So no one, if anyone feels bad, no one's as bad as Alec. It was very impressive. It was. I was impressed by how where are we it's actually okay in case you're going, "Oh no, I'm the worst." I wouldn't mention it anyway. I will be seeing Alec in less than a week. Less than a week. We're going to London town with Rob, who's sometimes in the chat. And we're going to go to a series of talks about Wars of the Roses. So we're going to be team Wars of the Roses down in London town. So that's what next Sunday's show will feature. So that'll be cool. What have we got? Oh, Alec hasn't done the latest one yet. And there are people, although Alec's fairly, but other than that one, I think you've been all right. But there's a couple of people that mess it up every single time that it's now just funny. So I'll get it. And then I'll put their email into the email account and I'll just see all the previous emails with them, which was for every single Kickstarter. Because I can just imagine people going, right, I've got it. I've done bugger. But the general thing is, if it hasn't taken the money off by the time you get to the PayPal, it's not going to take it off afterwards. So you need to go back. So thank you again. It's funny. It's funny. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What have we got? So community minis, pledge manager, can't combine the thingies, got the bonuses. What time is it? 1:45. So I've just been trying to get some big tasks out the way. It sounds really dismissive. Done community miniatures. I've put on there, say why it took so long. So those 3 community minis were voted. Oh, they were voted for and put up for pre-order in March last year, and that's a huge wait. And I know I originally said something like July, and then I moved it subtly to sort of September, and then it became November, and now it's January, which is why I'm glad that they are out. I just wanted to say why, because I can imagine less. Again, probably not the people that watch this show that don't, get the ins and outs and just don't think about it. I don't think about the ins and outs of. I probably do more than your average person because of what I do, but I can imagine somebody thinking, how come she's not done these free miniatures when she's released all these other miniatures and done all these Kickstarters? And you'll notice that a lot of the latest stuff has been fantasy. So fantasy doesn't require anywhere near as much research, which is kind of why it's ended up being throw in a fantasy, do a bunch of fantasy, because there's nowhere near as much into the building process as there is with historical. And because they all are in different time zones, apart time zones, well, they are different eras. Apart from the two pirates, which I kind of did do the research together, and I did that's the thing. I did the research pretty quickly on them. I think fairly quickly. Um, there's quite a big chunks of caps. Uh, I just got brain blocks with them, and I think because they're what's the word? They're never the main thing that's happening. So there'll always be something that's, major and needs dealing with, and then they kind of go into the back a bit. And it's a lot. So it's the research, the blog writing. I usually end up going somewhere to check them out. I didn't for these ones. There wasn't anywhere I could find that was. Oh, I did. I looked at. I was looking at swords at the Leeds Armory. So it was. Just because, yeah, the research is more in depth. Oh no, more in depth, about the same depth, but I have to present it. Whereas it can be a garbled bunch of notes, but I have to present it in the blog. And none of this is bad. This is why I do it. But there's just a lot more behind each figure. So there's that. There's the artwork. I always with these I want them painted so you don't get them without packaging because it's part of the nice parcel of it all, isn't it? The cards, writing the cards, doing the graphics of the cards, getting on Marty to do the art. Um, and yeah, I think I get more self-conscious on the research and the design process because it's so visible. Whereas if you don't see it, people tend to brush over. But if I go, I've given her this coat, then people go, "Oh, that coat's wrong." So it's just a lot more work in them, and it's been a heck of a year last year, and I want them to be a lot quicker. And I know I've said that they have been it's took a long time to get these 13, but I freaking love them. I think it's such a good project. And I've been waiting to get these because they were all the ones that were pre-funded. So they're now the line is drawn, and I'm gonna relaunch it, but I need to have a proper sit down and figure it out. It's been in the back of my mind. I said before, I like things just sort of churning away, and then at some point I'll go, "That's it." So we're gonna do a relaunch, and I've said this for a while. I want it to be more streamlined, quicker, but one at a time. Just one at a time. So my brain, because that was, I think, the pressure of like all this load sort of preload, top loaded. So I want it to be so there's only one that's one at a time, but more frequently. Like say if it's every 2 months or something. And the idea was to get people involved in the research, but because it's been sort of a bit panicked, that hasn't really happened. So I want us to, say for example it was Mary Read, to go, right, you're all going to go out, everyone's going to go out, not just me, and get some Mary Read information. So I want to condense it all somehow. I thought about things like cards only for pre-orders, but then I'd be sad if I didn't get many, and I'd have to pay for like 14 cards or something. And just I don't want to punish anyone that doesn't see anything at that particular time. So it's hard to sort of juggle. But yeah, I'll go proper. We've done 50 minutes now. I'll go properly into some ideas, and I'm going to finish that. I've got on next week's plan to finish the questionnaire about the community minis and get some of your feedback, and see how happy people would be for different types of things. But I'm really excited of who we get next because I love it. It's a nice little in between everything else. I had a bit of a not epiphany, but I had a lot of thinking time over Christmas, and what I want my priorities to be, and what I want from Bad Squiddo, and what I love the most. And it's been too long since we've done much, super heavy historical. And I've dallied with a bunch of different fantasy bits. Ghouls, got that out of my system, but I want us to really crank up the history at the moment. That's what will make me really happy. So more random women via community minis, and the research for the World War II resistance is coming along really well. I've got a bunch of stuff booked in, either talks or visits, to get some more information. So I'm really happy about that, because my favourite thing is learning about the people, putting that into an action, which is making the figure, and then teaching you about the figure. That's the absolute favourite thing, which is why I love community minis, because I love sharing all that through the blog as well, and showing a bit of the process. And say, even when people that get nominated don't win, people still learn about them. I'm getting a little bit croaky. It's not that croaky noise. Um, Edgar says, my sister said I should paint one of your models, the packaging art. I don't think I'm good enough. How many painters do you work with? We have John Morris is the main dude. He probably does 90 to 95% of it. And very occasionally we'll get we did used to work with Andrew Taylor more than we do now, mostly because he's got a long queue. everyone's having a go at some Andrew Taylor. We use Amy. She's been having, oh, she's in the chat. She might be in the chat. She's been having a lot of health issues, but she's been painting quite a lot. Probably more than Andrew. Well, more than Andrew the last few years for sure. Warp Fiend Amy. We did have painting nights. Used to paint a load of the scenics. We've got Berlin Tuesday now has been painting a bit more as well. And then occasionally we'll get a sort of guest painter in every now and again. So yeah, you can always email, but I will before I see your work, say it's probably unlikely. So then you can't. People are always welcome to email in, but almost certainly it'll be fine with John for most of the time, because we've got a system now and it works really well. But I always want to see what you've been painting anyway, so it doesn't hurt to email. Pandemonium, who I forgot, who's sat right there as well. Yes, you've done a bunch of stuff. You're another one that I always think, oh, he's probably really busy. Kind of want you to make me some scenery, because you've been making all the like scratch built things. I've got Berlin Tuesdays on a diorama, which I think is killing his will to live at the moment. I've got him on a World War II. So yes, what we got? How to relaunch? Say why it took so long. We'll be closing up soon. We've got a visitor coming at 1:00. Mr. Remington Steele, Andy's old co-host. He is his co-host, but he never really does the Andy and Rem show anymore, because he's a rock star and he tours the world as a rock star now, which is true. Of bizarre things. He is in the Fun-Loving Criminals. But he's coming over at 1 to play some Age of Sigmar, I think. I can't remember Age of Sigmar or Old World. I'll find out if Andy's been secretly watching, because he'll correct then in the chat. But he's coming over to play something. So Remy will be here playing around the peaks. So I'm gonna tidy some of my crap up before he gets here. Put little bow ties on the pigs as always. Oh, he knew he was there. There he is. So I will watch some Old World gaming, and Rem is as easily distracted as I am, and Andy is very focused on the game. As anyone that has been following Andy will know, he's tuned in. Let's play the damn game. So he loves it if I'm around when he's playing Rem, because it means that Rem takes them like 5 times as long to do what he's going to do, because he ends up talking about something random. Pandemonium, definitely up. Yes, excellent. So yeah, I need to chat to you anyway. Other events, we've got Vatn Attack is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, which will be the first show in a while. So I've got to prep for that. So Mum's going to come up and help. She doesn't know it yet. So that's in York on the 2nd of February. It's my birthday show, but it's not really. Sometimes it is though. So my birthday's the 9th, just if anyone wanted to, but Vatn Attack's usually like around the 7th, so I call it my birthday show. But it's on the 2nd this year, so it's in 2 weeks. Get on, Nick. It's the 2 references there. Brain. And I suddenly went, oh, 40 people. Imagine the 40 people in my living room. I've run out of chairs. You may have to sit in the pig pen or something. Have Dave nibble you. So VapTech in York, it's soon. So I've got to prepare for that. What have we got? Forgot. Paperwork, GSPR, tidying, which I keep meaning to do. 'Cause I've tidied like a tiny corner of the office, and I'm doing a little bit more each time. It's very refreshing that the pile of half-packed community minis. The pile of half-pack community minis has gone now because they've been there obviously for a while. So whenever there's community minis or Kickstarters, when it goes to processing, what I tend to do then is pick the rest, just so when we get there, there isn't, oh crap, I don't actually have this thing. I have mentioned Cywell. I mentioned it on Monday, but you weren't here. So there. But anyone who wasn't there Monday, like Mum, we went to. I did loads of chat about it. You weren't there. We went to Cywell Air Museum. Lil came along, and we learnt about the Night Witches. Kate should be at Vat Attack. Yes. David Hiscox. Yes. Do it. Go to Vat Attack. It is wicked. There should be a Squidgon this year, but there probably won't be because it'll be a whole other thing. And I'm trying to cut things down that I'm committing to. Well, she says as I've added a whole bunch of events and stuff, but maybe next year. If you want to hear about the Night Witches, the last video I was chatting about that, and we've got Night Witches models. If you don't know about them, go buy them. Yeah, they're cool. What have I got on the list? Nick offered to help, eh? Yes, the PU2. Yeah, I need to get one, then I can put my actual laser. Katie went to a classic bike show at Newark, but there were no gaming people. No one, not even one that you did a AE. What have I missed in the chat? I know I'm at the trailing off bit, but there's a few more bits. There was an Acropolis event yesterday, and I found out about it too late. Don't play an Acropolis, but I want to play either an Acropolis, Turnip, or A for Punk, because it seems to be that the nicest people ever go to those events. So this morning I was scrolling Instagram looking at all the photos from the events and just seeing so many lovely people and going and much to Andy's annoyment, because I said I was going to learn Old World and my interest of that has gone. But because part is social, it's the social thing, the events and the social at the necropolis and stuff, they're just all lovely people, and I just want to see them. It's just an excuse just to roll dice. Andy said the Festival of Squids, co-promoted by a seafood company. Oh, yeah. Oh no, we're not all eating squids. It's horrible. I've never eaten squid, not out of squid tendencies, but not out of squid protection tendencies or anything. I don't want to chew on a tentacle. It's not. No. Oh, that'd be horrible. Anyway, got Necropolis. Me going through tasks. So I did 1,000,000 tasks this week. If you're in the EU, just reminded for some reason there. If you are in the, even though I said I wasn't going to combine stuff, if you're in the EU and I haven't shipped your community minis because of that, you can, because I've got a list of you. It's rather a small list rather than the mega list. So if you did want to combine anything, let me know, and we can do that. It's like if you go, oh, actually, I'd like to add this on, then it's more for the year about paying customs twice. You don't want to do that. And we've got TikTok. TikTok's apparently dead now in America, and I've met lots of wicked Americans through TikTok actually. But I've got a theory, and I'm gonna say it, and then if I'm correct, then everyone will be like, "Wow, she's so smart." So most people here probably don't TikTok. I enjoy it as much as the people doing silly dances. There's lots of information on there. I learned pretty much everything I know about houseplants through TikTok. Because the videos are short, they get straight to the point. There's no like, "Hey guys." Um, so TikTok, I learned about plants. Found loads of creators on there. Um, Seen lots of funny stuff. But there's a lot more to it. There's lots of good little sub communities on there, almost a bit like you'd say about Twitter, where people go, "It's just your dinner." It's not. There's lots of cool stuff happening. Um, so the Americans have taken it away. And don't panic. Don't do the politics. We only do the things that people class wrongly as politics, like whether people should be allowed to exist. That's not politics. But just from a purely observational standpoint. So a while back, Mr. Trump put forward the banning of TikTok in America, and then it was Biden, and now it's Trump again tomorrow, and they gave them till it was tonight to sell for China to sell to America. So if it was American owned, they wouldn't ban it. Trump's inauguration is tomorrow, and I think that they've already sold it or are in the process of selling it to Facebook. That's who I'm going with, or Meta, ZUCC. I think the ZUCC's going to have something to do with it. And I think to gain popularity, especially with the younger people, once Trump's inaugurated, he'll go, "I'm bringing TikTok back, yay!" Even though he took it away in the first place. And then I'm sure I'm not in a Trump fan chat anyway. But yeah, then brain Timu Tony. Then it'll all be ZUCC TikTok, because ZUCC's wanted TikTok and he hasn't been able to, but I bet he's got it. And I bet there'll be some, because there's now that link with Elon Musk and the government. America's government and social media millionaires is all getting a bit weird. But don't worry, that's not a general bad Squiddo topic. But I wanted to make it known that my prediction, we'll find out. We'll find out next week. After all the drama of TikTok going, I reckon it'll be, "We saved TikTok and it's now owned by this alien man." That's what I reckon. So I've not been too sad about it going, because I think it's going to be back. But yeah, I feel bad for all the American content creators that have made livings on TikTok, and or just people with big followings and stuff. Oh yeah, and Instagram's it's going like non-square, but anyway. So what have we got? That is all the things for me to talk about. Thank you is always the theme. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along. Do a little like and subscribe if you're new. If you come here going, "Oh, that's that woman that was on that film deg." Yeah, go watch Film Deg if you've got nothing else to do this morning. I'll put it in a playlist on here if you wait a couple of minutes and you can't find it, or just put Film Deg and it will come up as one of the first, because that's what I looked. So yeah, have a good week. So next week I'll be knackered, but I'll be here next Sunday morning, and I'll have come from London, and I'll have all this Wars of the Roses knowledge. So cheers, thanks for coming along. Thanks back in Community Minis if you have, or the Pledge Manager if you have, because it's really nice and it's lovely packing them all up and being like, people want the things, yay! So cheers, and keep an eye out on what shenanigans. Also, lady running around with fork. There's one left in the shop at the moment. I won't get more probably till, looking at time, salutish. So if you want lady running away with fork, go get it. Right, I'll catch you later. Thank you, you rock.